Hello, Void. Well, in one of my previous videos, when I was rambling on about my pickups at the Dollar Tree, I referenced the Mega Shark collection, and today I finally tapped into it. Since I teased it before, I figured I should at least start reviewing some of the films contained within. So, at me paying a staggering 12.5 cents per movie, well, I suppose I might as well see if I got my money's worth. And the first one, I just decided to pick whatever was first on the first disc in this thing, and that was Toxic Shark, a 2017 sci-fi original, I believe. And yeah, it's as that name should conjure everything you need to really know about this film. Now, what is Toxic Shark? Toxic Shark is a big shark that is not only making the water around him further toxic, though it's kind of unclear whether the shark's making the water toxic or if the water made the shark toxic. It's kind of unclear. They never really explain why. But it's a shark with a nozzle on his forehead that shoots acid, and whose bites or wounds cause arsenic poisoning. Arsenic poisoning. And I use that term very loosely, but we'll get into that later. Okay, so where do I begin? This is set in Puerto Rico on a fitness singles camp, outing, club, what have you. Now, our main character, whose name I do not recall, his two friends are taking him down there to help him get over his recent breakup and to scope chicks. Now, his former girlfriend, whose name I do remember is Eden, because of course it is, she and two of her girlfriends have also come down there to get over her breakup, and of course, they collide. And we get to deal with them bickering through most of the movie until things really start hitting the fan, and then it begins shoehorning in the bad couple getting back together, even though they're both terrible for each other. Now, why are they end up at the same place? It's stupid, but they at least give a reason. Because one of Homeboy's friends then saw the thing advertised in a magazine in his bathroom. Turns out that was his girlfriend's magazine, and she was already making the plans, so that's why they're all in the same place. Now, staff are slowly, one by one, going missing around this place as they get sharked. But the only really thing to discuss about this film in general is the shark itself, the toxic shark. So, I mentioned before, it shoots acid. Sort of. Kind of. Now, it mostly looks like green slime toothpaste, almost. And apparently it burns things. But you see it sprayed on people, but it doesn't really... you see them reacting, but it doesn't actually show it burning them because, one, this movie is rated TV-14, and two, I don't think they had the budget. Now, the shark itself is a complete CGI monstrosity. It is terrible CG, and the thing barely acts like a shark at all. I mean, sharks don't roar, this thing roars. Sharks can't really jump out of the water, this thing is flying, practically. And not to mention the fact that it's toxic. But apparently it seems to have adapted to arsenic-heavy waters somehow. Because they say they have no idea how it's doing it. Well, at least they're honest. And it's clear it's just a CGI thing that nothing's there from. The most hilarious scene I saw there was this girl riding a horse on the beach because reasons. And at one point, the horse seems to be nervous. I swear half the dialogue of this is ADR'd in because you'll see her on the horse trying to steady it. It'll cut away to a shot out of the ocean. Then you'll hear her voice. Cut back to her. She'll be still trying to steady the horse, and her face is not reacting to anything. Cut back to it. Then you'll get another line. So none of the lines are actually coming from her. And then at one point, the shark jumps out of the water, grabs her right off the horse before falling back into the water, and the horse just stands there not reacting to it at all. I mean, horses spook, no? Giant shark lunging at it, wouldn't that it? And why did the horse go for the girl and not, or the shark go for the girl and not the horse? The horse is bigger, more meat. I can tell you why. This shark's an asshole. All the shark does throughout the entirety of the movie is appear to harass people. I mean, wherever their characters go, that shark is there trying to eat them. No matter how recently the shark is eaten, it is constantly devouring people. I mean, I guess it paid for the buffet at the resort. It's gonna get its money's worth or something. But yes, it's constantly needing to devour. Shark's gonna weigh more than my cat by the end of this. But that's not the only ridiculousness going on here. No. Because this isn't just a shark movie. This is a half zombie flick, too. But you only really realize that towards the end, when I mentioned the shark is coated full of arsenic. Or arsenic's in the water. Both. I don't know. So anytime someone gets an open wound in the water, they get infected by the arsenic. I guess. But then they start getting delusions and getting feverish. And then by the end of it, they're lunging at people, trying to bite them like zombies. And they can spread their arsenic poisoning by bite. I mean, the wounds from the shark, they kind of reference that it's more from the water getting into the wounds because the water is so heavily coated with arsenic that that's where their infection's coming from. But I don't think the people should be able to spread that by bite. And towards the end of it, the only people left are our main characters and like one of the staff running for their lives from a crowd of infected people. One of them was their former friend who just disemboweled another girl. So it's zombies and giant poison shark that they just decide to explode later because arsenic is flammable. Which is true, I did look that up. Arsenic is quite flammable. So naturally, the shark being so infused with arsenic is also quite flammable. Boy. This was hypnotically bad. And hilarious. I will say I was not bored by this film. But wow, the effects were terrible. The acting, terrible. The shark itself, ridiculous. Though I actually kind of recommend watching this one because this is the one you gotta see it. One MacGuffin is all this one gets. Only one. That's all I can spare for Toxic Shark. Now, I don't think many of the films on these discs are going to be much better. I mean, most of them don't have as much of an eye-catching name as Toxic Shark. Sharkman, maybe. No one's got my boy Jeffrey Combs in it, so I'm interested in that one to a degree. The other ones on this collection, it's going to be a long collection. Gonna have to spread this one out. Okay, that's all. No.